Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one and welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. For today's viewing entertainment, we have a Tier 7 standard battle here on the Pearl River map, starring the Skull 666 in the FSV Scheme A. As mentioned, this is a Tier 7 standard battle, so there is an excellent chance that most, if not all, of the vehicles present on both teams actually existed in one way or another, and weren't simply an engineer's fever dream scribbled down on the back of a napkin during a lunch break. Unfortunately, the Skull's FSV Scheme A here is not one of them. Yeah, it never existed. I was very, very confused when I saw this thing. I thought, oh, British armoured cars, okay, and then I tried to find the specifications. Couldn't find anything. Do you know why I couldn't find anything? These aren't armoured cars. Yeah, I know they look like armoured cars, I know they behave like armoured cars, I know they smell like armoured cars, but apparently they're medium tanks. Yeah, alright Wargaming. Whatever. Put the potato vodka down and step away from the keyboard with your hands where everybody can see them. The thing is, the other vehicles, I mean this one never existed, but the other vehicles in this tech tree line that did actually exist, like the Saracen at Tier 8, or preceding this one, the Staghound Mark III at Tier 6, did actually exist, did see service. The Staghound in particular, it was a Staghound reconnaissance vehicle in 1944 that managed to get over an unguarded bridge that wasn't supposed to be able to take the weight of an armoured vehicle and get behind and scout the German defences for the first shots fired during Operation Market Garden. These things did exist, but they weren't medium tanks. They were armoured cars. And armoured cars are in the game, and they look like this. But these are not armoured cars. They're medium tanks, because whatever. Anyway, enough bitching about Wargaming's dubious design and vehicle selection process. Why is there no Fox armoured car in the game? That's what I want to know. That thing was amazing. But, you know, no, instead we've got shit that never existed like this. Whatever, don't complain. Well, I say shit that never existed. This thing is far from shit. And I suppose that's kind of the point. Because if you're just making up stuff that only ever at best existed as design notes, you can basically do whatever you like with it. And the FSV is definitely not shit. It's actually pretty good. The gun, by default, it comes with a 76mm gun. It's basically like a Tier 5 medium tank gun. Average damage, average penetration, compensated for by a fairly good rate of fire. The upgraded gun choice is actually lower in calibre, it's a 75mm gun. But while it is definitely the gun that you're going to want to use as soon as you've unlocked it, because it does have like 10% better damage and 20-25% better penetration, it does have a lower rate of fire, which results in overall slightly lower damage per minute. Despite that lower DPM, you are still definitely going to want to use the 75mm over the 76, because as you can see the Skull doing here, popping in and out of cover in order to take snapshots at targets in a machine that at best has 35mm of hull armour and only 25mm of turret armour, you are definitely going to appreciate the higher penetration, slightly higher damage, and more importantly, faster aiming time. 35mm of hull armour. 25mm of turret armor. Medium tank. Okay, Wargaming. The enemy team did just actually manage to pull 2 kills back in quick succession. However, the follow-up kill on the enemy strip 74 ensured that the Skull's team are still 1 point ahead. But it's not so much the number of the kills that's important, it's where those kills have occurred. And, well, the enemy team have just equalised on kills anyway. All of the friendly losses have occurred all the way up there to the north, which means the enemy team have a free run straight into the base. And judging by what's going on up there to the northeast, as they finish kicking all of those defenders to death, I think the only reason that they haven't already started capping is because they're doing exactly that, which looks like incredibly bad news for the 2 friendlies, the Hellcat and the Galika, who are still in that central town, because unless they fancy going cliff diving, I don't see how they're getting out. There's an enemy IS down there, just went unspotted within spitting distance of the base. Not really sure what he's waiting for, unless he's trying to get shots at those two. Yep, the Hellcat has gone for the cliff dive. Honestly, probably the best thing he could do. The Govica there is begging for help, and since somebody is capping. But he asked for help, and so help is what he's going to get. I'm just not sure how effective 150 damage per shot is going to be every 4 seconds. No, never mind. He's dead. The Hellcat survived, although how long he's going to continue to survive is anybody's guess as the rest of the team start falling over like dominoes. Whoever's capping on the enemy team, is it the Comet? They did just get hit. Don't know who that was, but good job. Now the Skull needs to finish this guy off before he realises exactly who it is who's continuing to shoot at him. Oh shit, he's looking this way. One more hit. See, here's the problem. While both of these tanks are very, very similarly armed, one of them actually has armour, because it's actually a medium tank. Can you guess which one it is? Top tip, it's not the Skull. Oh, lovely shot there. Beautiful shot, in fact, there on the IS. Here's what confuses me though. While all of that was going on, there's a friendly T-3485 who's been sitting in the enemy cap circle for over a minute. And there's now only 36 seconds, there it is. 36 seconds away from capping before somebody on the enemy team decided to do something about the enemy medium tank, an actual medium tank, sitting inside their cap circle. Unfortunately for the Skull's team, the T-3485 in the enemy cap circle was completely incapable of taking the hint the first 2 times he was hit and reset, and dies in the enemy cap circle. Because of course he does. He did at least manage to split the enemy team's attention, which is probably the only thing that ensured the Hellcat stayed alive as long as it did, but now it isn't. And it's only the Skull in this alleged Tier 7 medium tank and the friendly artillery left. Regarding the friendly artillery, the Lorraine, I have to admit I was initially quite impressed with his situational awareness, above and beyond the overwhelming majority of artillery players, and that he realised that if he stayed at the back of the base he was going to get killed, as the Comet and the IS found themselves with a clear run at the Skull's base, and the Lorraine reacted appropriately and got the hell out of there. But now look at where he's going. You can't really tell from looking at him, but if you look at the minimap, he's parked himself in a sort of ravine. Now I realise artillery is an indirect fire vehicle, but I mean, if you park right next to a cliff wall, you can't shoot over it. So the Skull is basically doing his job under these circumstances and trying to spot targets for the artillery, but the artillery's manoeuvred himself into a location where he's completely incapable of actually providing any kind of indirect fire support, and can in fact literally only shotgun anything that appears at the end of the ravine 50 metres in front of him. Oh, hello, Mr. KD. Yeah, you don't want to get shot by that. Go on then, Arty. Spotted him for you. What do you mean you don't have a shot? What the hell is the Lorraine doing? He's not going to try to cap, is he? Actually, speaking of which, how come nobody on the enemy team is capping? They've had plenty of time. Is somebody on the enemy team typing no cap kill all in chat? I think the odds are probably pretty good that somebody is. Admittedly, the artillery isn't exactly making it difficult for them by herpa-derping his way. Actually, is he going? I don't even know what he's doing. He's not even heading for the cap circle. Committing suicide by enemy tank is what he's doing, and, well, yeah, request approved. So, the Skull is now the last one left alive against 6 enemies, every one of which can inflict massive damage on him with high explosive shells. Oh, careful with that rock, Eugene. Most of them are behind him, but there's at least one in front of him because he's in the... No, he's not in the cap circle. You know what that means. No cap, kill all. Somebody just drove through the cap circle and is heading this way. And it is... Oh shit. It's the KV-3. Oh, that hurt. That would have hurt a lot more. Disabled a whole bunch of modules and probably knocked out half your crew if they'd been high explosive, but it still hurt. However, it's the only shot the KV-3 is going to get because, well, if you're in the KV-3 is a good tank, but it's never going to win a knife fight with something that can do 60 kilometers per hour and has a 24 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio. Oh, hello and goodbye. I have to admit that was unexpected. I didn't see that kill coming. Now, where are the rest? Oh, I shooting at what looks like nothing in particular. Good use of concealment there, I have to admit. Obviously, shooting through the bushes like that, the OI was never going to see who was shooting at him, but the fact that he did not get detected while shooting means that the KV-2 and the M6, who I thought would have been pursuing him, were also not in line of sight. Although if they are pursuing him, they're probably going to be in line of sight soon, so best not to stick around. You've got the speed advantage over everything remaining on the enemy team. Best to use it. Can't quite get the grip to get over those rocks. He's parking up here. Again, he's using the concealment. There's the OI again. Doesn't hang around to figure out whether or not, because he did get spotted. And yeah, nope. Doesn't pay to take chances in this thing. Not with 25mm of turret and 35mm of hull armor. So you have to bear in mind that 2 of the 3 surviving enemy tanks, definitely the OI, definitely the KV-2, maybe not so much the M6, if they fire high explosive. And of course the M6 is firing gold APCR. What a noob. And a tank with 35mm of armor. Hey, whatever. It's your money. I mean, you could have done 50% more damage with high explosive, which is basically free compared to your 90mm gold, but, you know, whatever. Spend it wisely. He is definitely now a one-shot kill. Well, he was always a one-shot kill for the OI and the KV-2. He's now a guaranteed one-shot kill for the M6 if it fires high explosive instead of emptying its pockets at him. But even if the M6 continues to play with its credit card inserted, it can still one-shot him. It would need a very low damage roll in order not to. There's the OI. Oh, lovely shot. Got detected, of course. Detected, of course. Here's where he starts umming and ahhing a bit, because the pressure is on. It's only him against 2 enemies, both of whom can one-shot him. And one of them at least is capping. So which way is he going to go? Because he's fast, but he has less than a minute. And... yeah. He likes to look at that rock on the other side of the cap circle, because they know he was over here, and he really doesn't have enough time left to screw around. Oh, there's the M6. Huh. Not quite sure what he's doing there. He's managed to put his gun on the other side of the rock, so he can't shoot back. He's not the one in the cap circle, though. That'll be the KV-2. And the Skull is running out of time and must get a reset off, or he's going to lose in the next 20 seconds. There he is. Oh, it missed! Of course, he also missed the reset. There's the reset. Oh crap, here comes the M6. It's at this point where I want to pause proceedings, just for a second, because a whole bunch of extremely important things are about to happen in extremely quick succession. So, first things first. Follow-up shot kills the KV-2, before it can reload, permanently resets the cap. Then disaster strikes as he drives straight into a dead IS, thinks to himself, who put that IS there? Actually, it was you. That's the one you killed earlier. And it's left you immobile, sideways on, in front of the gold spam and M6. Well, you had a good run, but all good things must come to an end, because the only way you're going to survive this is if he's still spamming gold, and he gets a spectacularly low damage roll. And that, kids, is what we call foreshadowing. Oh, you couldn't make this shit up. Thanks for the Kolobanov's medal, though, you idiot. Oh man, World of Tanks. Sometimes the jokes just write themselves. Yeah, I think I've said pretty much all I need to say on that subject. Good job, the Skull 666. Everyone else, I hope you've been entertained. I know I was. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.